Welcome back to the deep dive. All right, today we're going all the way to Maycomb, Alabama,
Ooh, Maycomb.
the fictional setting of Harper Lee's To Kill a Mockingbird.
A classic.
You guys gave us the full text,
Nice.
so we are ready to unearth all the juicy details, the hidden layers of this classic.
Yeah, it's amazing how a book so seemingly simple can be packed with so much depth.
Absolutely.
We're going to explore everything.
Everything.
From the Finch family tree to the complexities of Maycomb's social dynamic.
Oh, and let's not forget the enigmatic Boo Radley.
Oh, how could we?
But before we get swept up in the mystery,
Right.
I'm curious about the Finch family history.
Yeah.
Lee takes us all the way back to Simon Finch,
Way back.
the patriarch who set the stage for the family's legacy in Maycomb.
Yeah.
What insights can we glean from this origin story?
Well, Simon Finch, though absent from the main narrative, is like this powerful symbol of the South's past.
Okay.
He arrives with his slaves and builds Finch's Landing, a self-sufficient world where generations of Finches live off the land.
It's almost like stepping back in time to, like a bygone era.
Right.
Yeah, it's fascinating how Lee uses the landing to represent both the allure and the burden of tradition.
Yes.
But then we see a shift.
Mm-hmm.
Atticus and his brother break away,
Breakaway.
choosing professions outside of cotton farming.
Interesting.
Only their sister Alexandra stays behind, clinging to the old ways.
It's a subtle detail, but it speaks volumes about the changing South, right? And that tension between holding on to the past
Yeah.
and embracing the future.
Mm-hmm.
Atticus's return to Maycomb as a lawyer further complicates this dynamic.
Actually, yeah.
He's deeply rooted in the community,
Yeah.
but also an outsider in a way, challenging the status quo with his unwavering sense of justice.
That makes me wonder, how do you think Atticus's decision to defend Tom Robinson,
Oh, good question.
a black man falsely accused of rape,
Right.
plays into this tension between tradition and progress?
His decision to defend Tom throws Atticus directly into the heart of Maycomb's racial and social divisions.
Wow.
He becomes a lightning rod for controversy,
I see.
forcing the community to confront its own deeply ingrained prejudices.
Maycomb itself is almost like a character in the story.
Is.
Lee paints such a vivid picture of this sleepy southern town with its sweltering heat, gossiping neighbors, and deeply entrenched social hierarchy.
Maycomb's social structure is crucial to understanding the story's unfolding events.
Okay.
We see it in the stark contrast between the Cunninghams,
Right.
poor but proud farmers,
Yeah.
and the Yules, who live in squalor
Completely do.
and are considered the lowest rung of society.
Right.
And then there's the black community relegated to the quarters
Yeah.
and largely invisible to the white residents.
Lee uses such vivid descriptions to bring these social dynamics to life.
She does.
Like when Scout describes the Cunninghams' unusual way of paying back debts with hickory nuts, turnip greens, even a sack of stove wood.
Right, right.
It's a subtle detail,
It is.
but it reveals so much about their pride and resourcefulness.
And it challenges the reader to look beyond surface appearances and consider the circumstances that shape people's lives.
Right.
Lee doesn't shy away from the complexities of this social hierarchy,
No, she doesn't.
forcing us to confront the ways in which poverty, race, and prejudice intersect.
It's a reminder that even in a small town like Maycomb,
Small towns.
seemingly simple interactions
Yeah.
can be loaded with social significance.
Absolutely.
But let's move on to the character that has captivated readers for generations. The enigmatic Boo Radley.
Ooh, Boo Radley.
The Radley place is shrouded in mystery and fear, fueled by rumors and local legends.
It's fascinating how Lee uses the Radley place to explore the power of fear
Right?
and the ways in which communities can create their own monsters.
Oh, interesting.
The children's fascination with Boo, their attempts to lure him out, and the strange gifts they find in the knothole of a tree all contribute to the mystique.
Speaking of those gifts,
Yes.
what do you make of the two shiny pennies? The pocket watch, the carved soap figures of Jem and Scout.
Oh, those are interesting.
Are they simply tokens of a lonely soul trying to connect?
Yeah.
Or is there something more sinister at play?
Those gifts are fascinating, aren't they? They challenge our initial perceptions of Boo as this menacing figure.
Yeah.
On the surface, they seem innocent, even endearing,
Right.
but they also hint at a deeper understanding of the children in their world,
Okay.
almost as if Boo is watching over them.
It's almost like Lee is inviting us to question our own assumptions about Boo Radley.
Right.
Is he the monster the town makes him out to be?
Yeah.
Or is he a victim of circumstance? A misunderstood soul yearning for connection.
And that's precisely what makes Boo Radley such a compelling character.
Definitely.
He represents the unknown.
Yeah.
The other that can spark both fear and curiosity. Lee subtly encourages us to challenge those fears and consider the humanity that might lie beneath.
It's a reminder that perspective is everything.
It is.
Even in a seemingly simple southern town like Macomb.
Seemingly simple.
There are layers upon layers of complexity waiting to be explored.
Absolutely, and that's just the beginning.
Oh, I know.
We haven't even touched upon Atticus's unwavering moral compass.
Right.
And the impact of his decision to defend Tom Robinson.
Oh, yes, the trial.
Good try.
That's a whole other can of worms we need to unpack.
We do.
Let's dive into that next.
Let's do it. The trial of Tom Robinson, it really is the heart of the novel.
It's like a magnifying glass, you know?
Yeah.
Held up to Macomb's deepest prejudices.
Exactly. Lee masterfully uses the courtroom as a stage.
Oh, wow.
To expose the hypocrisy and injustice of the Jim Crow South.
And we see this so clearly in the testimony.
Oh, absolutely.
Right. You have Bob Ewell.
Bob Ewell.
A man driven by hate and a thirst for revenge.
Yeah.
Painting himself as the victim.
Oh, yeah. His testimony.
It's just
full of contradictions.
Yeah.
Inconsistencies.
But his whiteness gives him a level of credibility.
Oh, for sure.
In the eyes of the jury that Tom just doesn't have.
Absolutely.
And then there's Mayella Ewell.
Oh, yeah.
A young woman trapped in a cycle of poverty and abuse.
Yeah.
Her testimony is heartbreaking.
Oh, it is.
You sense her fear.
You do.
And desperation.
But it's also unreliable.
Very much so.
She's both a victim and perpetrator, caught in the web of her father's manipulation and the societal constraints placed upon her.
And then there's Tom's own testimony.
It's
so
simple,
honest,
and ultimately futile.
Despite the overwhelming evidence of his innocence.
You would think.
The jury delivers a guilty verdict.
It's gut-wrenching.
It's a gut-wrenching moment that exposes the limits of the justice system.
Totally.
In a society riddled with racial bias.
What strikes me is Atticus's closing argument.
Oh, tell me about it.
He knows he's fighting an uphill battle.
Yeah, but he doesn't hold back.
He doesn't.
He dismantles the prosecution's case.
Piece by piece.
Piece by piece, appealing to the jury's sense of reason and humanity.
It's powerful, but it's not enough to sway the jury.
Well,
their verdict just reveals this deeply ingrained prejudice.
That permeates Macomb.
Yeah.
A prejudice so ingrained that it overrides logic and evidence.
The trial's aftermath is equally devastating.
Yes, it is.
Tom Robinson is ultimately killed trying to escape prison.
Tragic.
A tragic end that underscores the pervasive violence and hopelessness
faced by black men in the Jim Crow South.
But even in the face of this crushing defeat,
right,
there are glimmers of hope, like the silent tribute the black community pays to Atticus after the verdict.
Oh, powerful.
Standing in respect as he walks by.
It's a powerful moment of solidarity and recognition.
It is.
Acknowledging Atticus's courage and his unwavering commitment to justice.
It's a reminder that even small acts of resistance can have a profound impact.
Absolutely.
But let's shift gears a bit.
And talk about another character who plays a pivotal role in Scout's understanding of courage. Mrs. Dubose.
Mrs. Dubose, a force of nature.
She is.
A cantankerous,
racist
old woman who spews insults at the children.
Right.
Seems to embody the very essence of Macomb's prejudice.
She initially seems like a purely antagonistic figure.
Right.
But as we delve deeper, we see another layer to her character.
For sure.
Remember when Jem loses his temper?
Yeah.
And destroys her camellia bushes.
Oh, those camellia bushes.
Atticus's decision to make Jem read to Mrs. Dubose as punishment?
As punishment.
Turns out to be a profound lesson in disguise.
It does.
At first, it seems like a cruel punishment.
Right.
But it becomes clear that Atticus is teaching Jem about a different kind of courage.
Exactly.
It's revealed that Mrs. Dubose is battling a morphine addiction.
Oh, wow.
And wants to die free from it. By reading to her, Jem is helping her through the agonizing withdrawal process.
Interesting.
In her final days, Mrs. Dubose displays incredible strengths.
She does.
And determination.
A powerful reminder that courage isn't always about physical prowess.
No.
It's about facing your demons and conquering them.
Atticus emphasizes this point.
When he tells Jem
that
Mrs. Dubose was the bravest person he ever knew.
Powerful.
It's a lesson that resonates throughout the novel. True courage often lies in the quiet acts of resilience and self-mastery.
And it's a lesson that Scout learns as well.
Yeah.
As she navigates the complexities of Macomb's social world.
But as we approach the climax of the novel,
Yes.
the focus shifts to a different kind of courage. The unexpected heroism of Boo Radley,
Boo Radley?
Radley's emergence from the shadows,
Right.
to save Jem and Scout from Bob Yule's attack is one of the most iconic moments in American literature.
I agree.
It's a stunning reversal that subverts our expectations
All right.
and challenges our preconceived notions.
It's almost as if Lee is saying that heroism can come from the most unlikely of places. The town outcast, the figure of fear and mystery, becomes the embodiment of quiet courage and selflessness.
His actions force us to confront the ways in which we judge others
Right.
and the power of empathy and compassion.
Boo Radley's heroism, however, raises some unsettling questions
About justice.
about justice.
Yeah.
Bob Yule, despite his hateful actions, is killed in the scuffle.
Right.
Is this vigilante justice, or is it a necessary act of protection?
This question lingers, prompting us to consider the complexities of right and wrong,
Yeah.
and whether the ends justify the means.
And Sheriff Hectate's decision to cover up the truth
Right.
further muddies the waters.
Yeah, is he protecting Boo from the harsh realities of the legal system? Or is he perpetuating the culture of silence that allows injustice to thrive?
Lee doesn't offer easy answers.
No.
Instead, she leaves us wrestling with these moral dilemmas.
Forcing us to confront the complexities of a society grappling with its own demons.
The novel's ending is both hopeful and bittersweet. Scout finally sees Boo Radley for who he truly is.
A kind and gentle soul.
A kind and gentle soul, forever marked by the cruelty of the world.
And as she walks him home,
Yeah.
she realizes that she's been seeing the world through a limited perspective.
Right.
It's a moment of profound growth and understanding.
To Kill a Mockingbird is ultimately a story about the power of perspective.
It is.
It's about learning to see the world through the eyes of others.
And challenging our own biases and assumptions.
It's a call to empathy
to understanding.
and action.
It reminds us that even in the face of overwhelming injustice,
Yes.
individual acts of courage and compassion can make a difference.
And that even in the darkest of times, the mockingbirds of the world deserve our protection. You know, it's interesting how the title, To Kill a Mockingbird, takes on a deeper meaning as the story unfolds.
It's more than just a title.
Right.
It's like this central metaphor that weaves through the narrative.
Initially, it seems to refer to the literal act of shooting a mockingbird, something Atticus tells Jem and Scout is a sin.
Right, he explains that mockingbirds don't harm anyone.
They don't.
They only bring joy with their songs.
Right.
It's a powerful analogy for innocence and vulnerability.
And throughout the story, we encounter several characters who embody this idea of the mockingbird.
For sure.
Tom Robinson is the most obvious example.
Absolutely.
He's falsely accused and convicted.
Yeah.
His life tragically cut short by a system steeped in prejudice and ignorance.
He's essentially destroyed for simply being himself.
Right.
For existing in a world that refuses to see his humanity.
But Boo Radley also represents this idea of the mockingbird.
Yes, he's ostracized and feared. His
Yeah.
true nature hidden behind a veil of rumor and speculation.
So true.
He's judged and condemned without ever having a chance to defend himself.
Really sad.
A victim of the town's collective fear of the unknown.
And even Scout, in a way, can be seen as a mockingbird.
Oh, interesting.
Her childhood innocence is gradually eroded by the events of the summer, as she witnesses the ugliness of racism and prejudice.
She's forced to confront the harsh realities of adulthood.
I see.
Her worldview shattered by the knowledge that the world isn't always fair or just.
Lee uses this metaphor to challenge us to consider who the real mockingbirds are in our own lives and in society as a whole.
It prompts us to examine our own biases and prejudices, to question the ways in which we judge others,
Yes.
and to recognize the inherent worth of every individual, regardless of their circumstances.
It's a call to protect the innocent and vulnerable,
Yeah.
to stand up against injustice, and to strive for a world where the mockingbirds can sing freely without fear.
That's beautiful.
This deep dive has been quite a journey.
It really has.
We've explored the intricate layers of Maycomb, the complexities of its characters, and the enduring themes that make To Kill a Mockingbird a timeless classic.
It's a story that continues to resonate with readers of all ages,
For sure.
prompting us to confront uncomfortable truths about ourselves and our society.
It reminds us of the power of empathy,
Yes.
the importance of understanding.
And the enduring strength of the human spirit.
It's a story that leaves us with a sense of hope,
Definitely.
a belief that even in the face of overwhelming adversity, we can make a difference.
Absolutely.
So what about this deep dive into To Kill a Mockingbird will you carry with you? What echoes from Maycomb can be heard in your own world today? We'd love to hear your reflections. Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep diving deep.